Thanks for joining us today, everybody. It's nice to be able to share with you, Jeremiah, and talk whatever you want to talk about. I just want to start by saying all of us at Villanova are so proud of Jeremiah and everything he's done here, and most proud of the kind of student and the man he's been as a member of our Villanova community. And we all know he's a great player, but it was kind of a strange 2 years, right, to be in college. So you all didn't get to see as much of him off the court, but he's the consummate Villanovan, and I think he's made a really good decision here, and he has been a joy to coach, and he has been a joy to go through any of these processes with. Last spring, just a real intelligent approach to how he handled this process. And then once again this spring, real intelligent, really authentic and clear thought process with his mom and him. And I guess, you don't get to mention parents a lot, but Jeremiah's mom, Katie Robinson-Earl, is a great lady that has been very supportive of us. Obviously very supportive of Jeremiah, but she's been a big part of this process. And he's made the decision to sign with an agent and enter the NBA draft and start this process. And I think it's a very intelligent one. He's going to leave here. He's got the highest GPA on our team, which says a lot, by the way. I think our lowest guy is a 3.1, and he's got the highest. And I know he'll come back and complete his degree when the time is right. So it's just one of those great stories to be a part of. And we hear a lot about the things in college basketball. This is a great young man who's done an amazing job and is going to have an incredible career in the NBA. And I'm excited to start this part of the process with him and watch him grow in the NBA. He's got incredible potential. This isn't close to how good he can be, but I do think it's the right time for him to enter this process. So we'll open it up for questions from you guys.
Yes, so please raise your hand. I see, Austin, you have your hand raised. So why don't you start us off with a question for J-Rob?
Jeremiah, just real simple one here. What kind of went into the decision to go to the draft and not just go into it, but sign with an agent? Because I know last time you went in, tested the waters. What made this decision? What led to this decision?
Yeah, no, I sat down with my family and with the coaches and just the people that are around me and know me the most, just to talk about what my decision should be. And we were real confident, especially from last year. I could have been in a position where I was drafted, but there was a lot of guaranteed answers and opportunity there. So I feel like coming back for my second year to mature as a player, a person, in all aspects, to be in the best position for this year. And I think I'm ready for this, and I think it's going to be a great step in the right direction for my career, and I'm really excited.
All right, thanks, Jeremiah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, Austin, but just because last year was so crazy with the pandemic, Jeremiah actually chose last year not to go through the process, and it was hard to tell who was in, who was out last year but he right away decided that, you know what, I don't want to go through the process. I want to spend the time working on my game and improving myself and getting ready for the next season. So he did not go through the process last spring, which I thought was really intelligent. And that's why I think he's even in a better spot this year. I had to throw that in because it was hard to tell last year who was and who wasn't, because there was really no defined process last year.
Thanks for clearing that up. I forgot a whole lot about it.
Yep.
Joe, why don't we go to you next?
I'll have to get my eraser because I wrote that about an hour ago that he went through the process last year. So I'll make sure
it was hard to tell because you couldn't tell when the process started, and so we thought about it, but he real early said, you know, he knew he was coming back, so he was just going to work on his game and his academics.
Okay. Jeremiah, I just wanted to know, like, the process of the process. How long did you wait? Did you kind of take some time off at the end of the season to chill out, or did you go right into discussions with your family about what your next step was?
Yeah, no, I for sure took some time just to relax and just, especially coming from this unique, crazy season of being in a bubble for however long it was. So I definitely need some time off just to not even think about basketball and just enjoy being back into society and all that. So it's been nice to be able to enjoy spending time with friends and family. But I was able just to sit down and talk with them as well, because it's a big step in my career. So it's really important to me, and I'm just really excited about all that. But yeah, I just talked to my family and coaches and people around me, and this is the decision we came with, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh, so I wanted to ask you too about your return to civilization. What were you doing? Did you go see your mom? See friends? How did you cope with freedom the first few days?
I probably went out to eat probably every single day that I've been able to be out, just to at least people watch and see other people, because there were times where we'd be in a hotel room and I'm looking outside. I have to close the blinds because I'm seeing people walking around and I want to be outside. So yeah, no, it's been great just being able to see my friends and family that I haven't seen for a really long time, and just talking to them on FaceTime the whole time I was in the bubble. But it's been a great time this past couple of weeks being out of the bubble.
Thanks, Jared. Good luck.
Thank you.
Terry?
Hey, Jeremiah, thank you for doing this. You know, you said you're going to sign with an agent. Have you chosen an agent yet, or are you still in that process?
Yeah, I haven't decided fully on where I'm going with, but there are a few, and yeah, I'm still just going through that process, and I feel like we're going to make a great decision with that.
You know, you decided to come back this year. Where do you think you made the most improvement this year, and what do you have to improve upon?
I would say this year from last year, I think my shooting, my confidence in shooting was a big aspect, and just being a playmaker and really making smart decisions. Because I think last year I had a negative assist to turnover ratio, and now this year mine was, I can't remember specifically, but I know it was at least 2-1, I think. So I think that was a really huge step in my game, just being more mature and just, excuse me, and being more mature from that aspect and just making the right plays with the ball. And I would say going into the future, just working on more probably my guard skills, because my whole life I've been either a big or a forward, kind of in the post, kind of just around the goal. So I'm real comfortable and confident with that. But now just expanding my game out to the perimeter. So because I feel like that's what the game is. A lot of the guys in the league are big guys, forwards that can shoot the ball, dribble the ball, come off ball screens, can do it all. So I feel like that's a big aspect of what I need to work on.
And one more thing, you said you relied on your inner circle to come to this decision. Were there specific people you relied on other than coach and your mom?
Yeah, just coaches I played for a very long time, and just really close friends that I've known for a while that have really like close mentors that have been in my life for a while, and they really know me and who I am, and I go to them for a lot of things in my life. So I think they really help me and guide me in the right direction of my life.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Good luck.
Thank you.
Joe, what was his
Benton.
assist to turnover ratio? We count on you guys for that.
I believe I know the answer to that. I believe it was 55-40, I believe.
That
55
sounds
to
right. I
40?
know it's 55 assists, and he had far fewer turnovers than he did as a freshman. So yeah,
Gotcha.
pretty good. The thing I liked was 2.4 or 5 offensive rebounds a game. So that was pretty good too.
Like that.
Ed
That's why I
Benton,
counted you, Jojo. You were Terry, come up with that for me.
Hi, Jeremiah. Even if this decision was pretty much set towards the end of the season, how much did it help getting a couple of NCAA tournament games in, getting to do a lot of different things in those games, performing the way you did? How much did that help make you better as you take this next step forward?
Yeah, I think it helped in a lot of aspects. I think the big stage is just, even though there weren't fans there and getting that aspect, but you can just feel the aura of, wow, like you're in a March Madness Sweet 16 game, playing to get to a national championship. So you definitely feel that aspect of how big the stage of the game is, and I think that definitely will help for the long run.
Rob, why don't you go next?
Jeremiah, congratulations. I want to ask you a question related to a project I'm working on, which is your head coach, Jay, is going to be part of Team USA this summer. So I'm wondering, from having been around him, what makes him special and what do you think he can bring to Team USA as an assistant with Pop?
I think the mindset of defending and rebounding are so important. He can bring the defensive aspect to that team, and I think that's something we started focus on down the stretch, and I think it really showed from compared to the beginning of the year. So we had a big emphasis on defense for the remainder of the season. I think it really showed. I think we did a great job, even though it ended how we didn't necessarily want it to. But I think even though we just did a great job with that. So I think he can bring the defensive and just the little details from every little thing of the game, from shooting the ball, making decisions, pivoting, jump stopping. So I think just a lot of little details in defending are two big aspects that he can bring to that.
And then if I could follow up, speaking of Baylor, obviously you guys had them in a, that thing was really tight until the very end. And then the way they performed in the national championship game, a lot of Villanova fans are like, man, we could have had that team. What's it like for you to watch a game like that when Baylor plays the way they do against Gonzaga? And then do you ever wonder what could have been if, maybe things had finished a little differently for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely saw the game and was maybe thinking, what if we were in a position to beat them and then see how we could go and just take it one game at a time and then maybe be in that position for sure. But the Baylor is so talented. They can bring it every given night, and they might not have been hitting shots against us like they normally have been, because they were really hitting a lot of shots in the Gonzaga game. But I think about it. I thought about it when I was watching the game that maybe we could have been in this position, but you just have to just live in the moment, and what's happened has happened, and just keep moving on. But I'm glad to see that they won the tournament. So I mean, I'm happy for them, but it was just definitely thinking about that when they were playing the game.
Thanks a lot, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Austin, I'll leave it up to you for the final question before we let J-Rob go.
Jeremiah, I know it's been, I think, like 2 hours since you posted on social media your decision. And I was sort of wondering if any pros that have played at Villanova have reached out in that time span. And if not, will you kind of be looking on them for a little bit of help through this process?
Yeah, definitely. Just a couple things on Instagram, nothing too crazy or anything. But yeah, definitely will be reaching out to them because they've been in the exact same position that I'm going through right now. So definitely just trying to get as much information and feedback, how the process is and what steps I should take, and just good ideas, and just pick their brain on certain things. So I think I'll definitely reach out to them to make this process much easier than since it's my first time going through it.
All right. Thanks, J-Rob.
Thank you.
Jeremiah, I think we're good. Thank you so much for doing this. We appreciate it. You're free to go.
Sounds good. Thank you very
job, buddy.
much. Thank you.
And so now we'll open it up for questions for Jay and Joe. I see you have the hand raised, so we'll start with you.
Jay, since we last talked, the transfer portal has doubled to like
What is it?
2,000.
What is it, Joe? What's the number?
It's close to 2,000. I don't think it's reached 2,000 yet, but
Oh my God.
it's like, are there 2,000 kids who play basketball in the country? I don't know. Well, I know Cole is gone. What is your anticipation as far as your roster next year? It just seems like there's so much uncertainty. How are you dealing with all this?
Well, I think the times have changed. This is what off season is going to be in college basketball now. It's going to be trying for all of us as coaches, trying to judge the best we can what our players are going to do, our own players, and then try to fill a roster so that you are responsible to the players that stay. You want to be loyal to your guys if they're making difficult decisions, whether they're going to stay or leave. You want to help them, even if they're going to leave. Like, we were very supportive of Cole. We didn't want Cole to leave. We love Cole. But once he told us he wanted to make that decision. You have to be supportive of him. And, you know, it is their careers. They only get one time to do this. So you're supportive of them. And you want to be supportive of anybody else that's trying to make a decision. But then you have a responsibility to the guys that are going to stay, because you got to make sure you have a roster around them. So this is going to be the challenge of every college coach in the spring. And this is our first time going through this. So all I can do is be truthful with you. I think right now everybody's staying. But you just don't know, you know, there's no limit on when they can make their decision. So you just don't know, you know, we met with everybody, we talked with everybody. Everybody seems to be all in. But, you know, you don't know if in the summer, if somebody comes to you and makes a decision that they want to leave. And there's obviously recruiting going on by other coaches, you know, of everyone's players now. That's what one of the things that we knew was going to happen, you know, when this rule, you know, came into play. So it's our first year going through it, Joe. I'm really being honest with you and telling you, I don't know how this is going to end up. I just feel like as coaches, we have a responsibility to each player for them to have the best career they can have and help them if they're going to go elsewhere. But then you have responsibility to your school and to the players that remain, that you make sure you put a competitive roster together and you have enough players to play. And that's going to be the challenge each spring now.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
Ed Benkin.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
When you go through the process like this with Jeremiah, what's it like for you every year? You must have the mixed emotions of, hey, you want what's best for the player. In this case, for Jeremiah, it was to go pro, but you've worked with him for 2 years. You work with these players. What's it like just for the human element of you having to say goodbye to some of these guys who've done so much for you, but knowing this is the right time for them to make the move?
All of these decisions are really difficult because they're like, you know, they're like your sons. You know, you want what's best for your children, you know, and that's really how you feel. You want to give them the best advice you can, and then you want them to make their own decision too. So this one with Jeremiah was really easy because he was so clear last year that I need one more year. I could go this year. I know I need one more year to develop. I want one more year to develop. So we kind of knew at the end of last year, you know, as long as he didn't get hurt, this was probably going to be the year. So this one was really clear and easy.
I will go to Austin next.
Jay, since we last talked, it's been official that Kyle has taken the Fordham head coaching job, and I'm curious, for that vacant role, are you looking to upgrade that in-house, or are you going to be looking externally?
We always look in-house first. You know, we try to the same as our basketball, you know, our team. We try to prepare a succession for our coaches. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna stay with in-house. I just got to make sure with human resource rules and regulations, we do everything the right way.
And just a real simple one here from you, what are NBA teams going to be getting out of Jeremiah when he enters the league?
I'm so excited to watch him because I think his game is actually going to fit the NBA even better than it does college. And I also know they're going to get a guy that's ready right away to play. I mean, he'll be able to defend and rebound, make free throws, make open shots immediately. But if you heard him, and I'm glad to hear him say it, he's got so much potential. He's got so much room to grow as a ball handler, decision maker. You know, at the end, we played him at the point guard some. Like, he's going to be able to do all those things. And he's still so young. He has time to grow and improve in the NBA. So I think they're going to get a guy that's ready, but also has a huge upside.
All right. Thanks, Jay. Take care.
You got it. Thanks, Austin.
All right, Terry, why don't you go?
Hey, Jay,
Hey,
You
Terry.
talked about this a little bit, that, last year there was so much uncertainty because there were no dates set for draft, combine, or anything like that. But this year, the dates have been set for the draft. Do you think that played a role in his decision too, that there was more certainty this year than last year?
Definitely, Terry. And I think the uncertainty last year was part of the decision. I think the decision last year was, do I want to go into the NBA ready, or do I want to go right now? That was most important, where I know I've got some things to work on. And then the uncertainty, the combination of those two, he real early, right at the end, right after our season, like a week or two, he said, you know what, I'm not even going through the process. I don't want to waste my time on it. I know I want to get better. So that's why I was saying, I think it was kind of foregone that this would be his last year, because he could have gone the previous year. But as you heard him say, there was things he wanted to work on. He wanted to work on his shooting, wanted to work on his decision-making. He wanted to play in the NCAA tournament, and those things, he accomplished, and I think he felt real good. And as we saw him accomplishing them through the season, we never talked about it, but we kind of knew it was a clear decision.
He didn't.
And
Everybody thinks he put his name in last year, and he didn't.
Yeah.
have you reached out to your NBA contacts, and what have they said to you?
It's time to go.
You know what's fun?
Projected.
Is that my man Steve Shear?
First.
That does sound like Steve Shear. Mr. Shear, if
Steve,
you
is
could
that
please
you,
mute
Steve
yourself.
Okay.
Stevie.
Yeah,
Steve.
I see. Sorry.
All right.
All right, Terry, continue, please.
You know what? I have not, because I know we're going to go through the process, and I did last year, and last year all of them said to me, like, he'll get drafted, but it would probably be best for him to come back for one more year, and then he could really put himself in a great spot. That's what they said last year, and I didn't this year because it really wasn't a part of the decision making, because, as I said, there were things he wanted to work on, that he wanted to go back. He, as I said, he wanted to be in the NCAA tournament. He wanted to improve certain areas. And so he's going to take wherever he goes, because he still is a potential guy. He's gotten a lot better. He's going to be ready, but he's a potential guy. So we'll start that, like, as he goes through his workouts, we'll work with his agent when he picks his agent, and then we'll start that process.
Thanks, Jay.
You got it.
All right, Rob, I think we'll make you the last question for today.
Perfect. Jay, I know you talking about yourself is like pulling teeth, but I'm going to go back to that well and try. Next month is a potentially really big day with the Hall of Fame announcement. I'm just wondering, I'll try and ask it this way. When you took over at Villanova, was anything like the words Hall of Fame even in your thought process at all? And what does it mean just to be a part of the class that's up for consideration?
I don't know. I go to the Hall of Fame induction a lot. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, that they were when they started playing or they started coaching, they were hoping they'd make the Hall of Fame. You just never even think about it. You're so, you're so focused on the competition, right in front of you. So I never, ever thought of it. And to be very honest, it's still not in my vocabulary, because it's just very uncomfortable to talk about it. I don't know if there's many coaches that really feel worthy of that. It's all people that you look up to in that category. So you kind of keep yourself out of it mentally. I really don't. I try not to think about it. I try not to talk about it, but I respectfully would answer your question.
I appreciate that, Jay. Thanks a lot.